And I've been blessed, no question. But I was taught that if you don't give back, you really miss out on an awful lot. Most people wonder how I went to Alabama. That's a long, long story, but I went there and I met Angie in Birmingham. She was there doing clinical work for the university, and I was enrolled at the university hospital and the goal of becoming an anesthetist. I was in my dorm and I happened to actually look out my window and saw these nurses walking down the street, and Angie happened to be one of them. And I said to one of my classmates, I said, "Bill, is that nurse," pointing to Angie? He said, "Angie Adams. You'll never get a date with her."
We actually met in the cafeteria line. I knew there was this guy from Pennsylvania, which is very unusual. I never met a Yankee before. So anyway, I tapped him on the shoulder and asked him if he was the boy from Pennsylvania, and he said yes. And so I asked him why he came the whole way to Alabama to go to school.
Well, I said, "If you want with me sometime, I'll tell you." And you nicely said, "Oh, I can't do that."
No.
So I asked at least 12 times. One time, I guess she was weakened and went out and had a cup of coffee with me. She had nothing else to do.
I was really attracted to him, and that particular time he asked me, I didn't have anything planned. So, unfortunately, all those other 12 times, I was already busy with one thing or another, so.
That was the beginning of what is now a 60-plus year marriage. When I was 15 years old, I was scrubbing floors at the York Hospital. I wanted to be an anesthetist. There's some physicians in my family, but I didn't have the financial backing. And I met a man who was an intern there at the time. And he said, "If you can get money for tuition, you can live with my wife and I." Unfortunately, he had some issues and had to drop out of a residency in surgery he had at the University of Alabama. And I was kind of on my own, and my parents, God love them, I mean, they just didn't have that kind of money. I mean, it was a struggle. So I stayed in as long as I could, then I dropped out and I got married. And we thought together we could somehow do it. Well, it just didn't work. So I had to drop out again and get a job, and the rest is history. Well, I'm often asked, why did I give so much money to the University of Alabama? I said, gee, someday I want to do something for this university that'll help another student. I could have said, I can't afford to do this to the university. It might have been an easy way out. And I told my own children, I said, I'm taking money away from your inheritance. They couldn't, they wanted us to do what we wanted to do.
They were fine with it.
They were very happy, very encouraging. Nurses have always been in my life. My mother was really sick most of her life. And I really believe good nurses are a gift from God. I've said that long before I even met Angie. And then here I met this woman who happens to be in nursing. I don't think they're really given enough credit for what they do. And the university, we love the university. It meant so much to both of us. So it's very important, the things we've tried to do for the university. We're certainly blessed, but we're not super wealthy. We're not Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. But we gave a significant 7-figure amount to the university. And it stung, but it was worth every effort because of what we know it's doing now and it'll do forever. We made a big commitment, and together we're so happy we were able to do it. Matter of fact, I want to make sure everybody knows it's the Angelyn Adams Giambalvo Endowment. And it's my goal to do it in honor of my wife. I know it'll go on forever, regardless who the dean is. As that person retires, it's an endowment. As long as there's a school of nursing there, and the endowment will be there, and to do great, good things for a lot of people.
It's just very exciting to see some of the students. You know, it's just fun to see where they come from, what they end up doing, and also some of the faculty that have received some monies from our scholarships, and what they do with them is just very interesting to see how it's touched so many different lives. I'd just like people to consider the School of Nursing when they are thinking about charitable giving, because we all need good nurses, and the University of Alabama School of Nursing produces good nurses.
And I don't think you can make a better investment, and I think that's what it is. It's an investment. It's not an expense, it's an investment. So my suggestion is, it might hurt a little in the beginning, but it'll feel very, very good at the end. Give as much as you can.